This is Sizzle powered by Fit to be Trained, coming to you from the Deep End Broadcasting Network studios in the lovely Virginia Beach, Virginia, in the United States of America. You can find this program on deependbroadcasting.com and subscribe to this network's YouTube channel, Deep End 757 Broadcasting. Hey, y'all, I am Karen Dougherty, aka Sizzle, and you can also find me online everywhere at Fit to be Trained. Da, 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 da.
Woo!
Woo! The crowd goes wild. I know. I'm always so happy when I get through that.
I actually
part.
have a cheer button.
Oh, I love that. Please do that. I need that a lot today. I love that.
We got a few of them on here for the other shows. Let's see. We have a chug.
Oh my God, that's great.
Let me say something funny. We can laugh. Burpees. Anthony cussing. Let's see here if we can get that to pop up here. Anything else that could apply to this show?
God fucking damn it.
Anthony, I love him. Oh, I love it. I love that.
There you go. We have
Okay.
all kinds of fun stuff we can get.
That is fun. That's super fun.
When you hit your weight goal.
That one's
your weight
cool.
loss goal reached.
I
There you go.
like that one too. I think we're so professional over here in Virginia Beach. So much so. Hey, you want to hear something funny?
Oh, yes. Speaking of professional, the website is looking really, really professional.
It looks so
Right
good,
at this moment.
Steve. I love the graphics.
Again, deependbroadcasting.com.
It's awesome. It's awesome. And on let me add to that. I was in the gym the other day.
Yes.
And you and I know quite a few of those folks in there.
Mhm.
And this is what I overheard. I didn't even say anything. I didn't pipe in. And you know me, I love to pipe in, but I didn't. I heard they were talking about Wadapalooza. Wadapalooza was going on in Miami last weekend. And
Yep.
I was supposed to go and I couldn't. I had to stay home and take care of my boy. And that's okay. But anyway,
Yep.
Miami.
You know that the Wadapalooza kind of sneaks up on you after the
It
New Year. You don't really know
does.
what's happening.
It does.
Next
And
thing you know, they're down there in Miami. But I think they had cooler temperatures too. I don't think it was quite 80 degrees.
No,
in,
it
beach
wasn't.
weather.
And I remember thinking, oh God, I guess I'm glad if I'm gonna miss it was then. But I really wanted to meet this gal there. It was gonna be so cool. But anyway, apparently when you're trying to watch it here,
Yes.
it's not that easy. And I wish I would have tried to watch it more, but I didn't. But so I didn't pipe in, but I heard some of the fellas saying, damn, we should get Big Steve and Deep End Broadcasting to do it next year. They do a better job.
Yeah.
And I
See,
was
how
like,
about that? How about that?
Excuse me? I know. Ding. Yeah. Perfect.
Or we could
Perfect.
be, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I know. And this is at 6 a.m.
So I tried to YouTube whatever they had going on with it, and I got to like a specific gym, but it was set up just, I'm not gonna say not professionally, but me trying to figure out exactly what the video was about, because I was like, is this like a behind the scenes of the athletes? But it was behind the scenes of a specific gym and their athletes behind the scenes. Because
So it was
just talking about
unclear,
them.
is that what you're saying?
It was unclear. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think there was a lot
And
of
I was like, man, I
downtime
could have
too.
promoted that a little bit better.
Yeah,
But
you
they
are a good promoter.
But they should have. I mean, it's easy enough to, if you're not even doing like live play-by-play of the events, to just be down there,
walking around,
or even if it's on the off time.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I wanted to do. Walk around, go in coffee shops,
set up in the hotel.
Yeah,
do it from the hotel lobby. That way, athletes can sit down and get interviewed, and
or like have stalkers like me, like
Right.
watch, just seeing them and seeing if you walk out and get to talk to them. Oh my
Karen,
God.
there is no reason, if we plan it, that we can't take this show on the road somewhere.
I would do it. I would do it.
I have a full functioning studio that goes mobile.
I would do it.
Without even touching. It's all right there. Right
I got
behind
to
me.
tell you right now, it is only.
Without touching any of the stuff in here, I can go on the road, which is.
It's only
pretty good, to be
11:20 in the morning, and I've been up since 3:30, and I've had an okay day, but I've had some mishaps.
Mhm.
You just made my day. I would do that. Oh my God. That would be so
Oh
fun.
yeah, we just need a hotel.
And wait a minute, I just realized
know.
I've got some restraints at home for the next. My son got hurt, and so I got to kind of care for him. But in 6 months, yeah, I want to take this thing on the road. That would be so awesome and so fun, wouldn't it? And,
Yep.
and a lot of my jobs, like I do virtual training too, y'all. So I could still work, if it was like a couple days or a weekend or something. But we're getting off subject, but God, you made my day. Yes, let's do Wadapalooza next year. Like make that a goal. Since I heard it, maybe that was a little sign from God. Hallelujah. Telling us that we need to go.
Well, I'll say this. The first week of this channel, and it took until about week 3 before I was on let's see. So if I started in late August, so I started in late August, this network, and let's see, 2022 now. Okay. So this is a few years back.
Oh, okay.
And we went within the first 6 weeks of coming on the air. We traveled and broadcasted live from Pittsburgh, Chicago.
Oh my God, Chicago's
and Green Bay.
Cities.
And that was with the equipment we had then. Now I have the full studio set up. It's portable for sure.
Dude,
it's got a little extra artillery to it, so it's a nice setup. And we take our act on the road and find a nice 5-star Marriott.
I would love to go to Wadapalooza too. I was like bummed I missed it, and it was in Miami, which is such a great, fun, sexy city.
Oh,
God, I love that
There's
city.
any number of places we could have done.
Oh my God! But anyway, so. Yeah, I'm kind of saddled for a little bit, but I don't mean to sound like I'm bummed. I'm so glad I can help my kid out. I love him, but I can't really travel for days yet. But now you've made my day, and Wadapalooza is next year, and we can do something prior to that.
Well,
in the summer.
I know they have the Arnold. I don't know what the hell that is.
Oh my God, don't even say that. That's in February, the Arnold. I know when the Arnold. I've always wanted to go to that.
Right.
In fact, I was going to go last year and I couldn't get a room because it was too last minute. You got to do. Oh God, I'd love to go to the Arnold. And then I looked up online how to go to the Arnold. There's ways to do it because when he moves, everybody in the stadium moves because everybody's following him. So it's like I read this art, or blog or whatever on how to you want to go at off hours. I should shut up because I shouldn't give our secret away. But it was really a cool article. I was like, yeah, because God, Steve, you just made my day. In fact, I want to talk about that the whole time and not about butts, baby. That's what we're talking about today.
Well, you know what the next big event probably would be like one of the CrossFit regionals.
I love CrossFit, and I love stalking.
I don't know where the
CrossFit
finals
athletes.
are, but we could do the regionals, wherever that is for the CrossFit Open.
Oh, but that's coming soon. I don't think I'm going to be able to leave in time.
The regionals would probably be in May.
Oh, I might.
Late April or May, I would think. Something like that.
I might.
So perhaps doable.
Yeah, that May's. Well, what are we talking about?
Well, we got a while still.
I might be able to do that.
February, March. I mean,
because that's a long weekend. I just can't travel
Mm-hmm.
long periods of time. But not yet. I mean, I can. I will, and I can soon, just not right now. But no pun intended. That's what I want to talk about today. I love that. That's so funny. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Strong glutes are seriously important.
Oh.
Yes, they are. And I kind of want to start out with a funny story. I hope it's funny to you because it was just so funny when it happened. But I was doing some volunteer work at a treatment center, a men's treatment center. And I was doing exercise classes with them, fitness classes. And I called out, hey, we're going to work our glutes. And I kept saying glutes. And this one guy yells out, "What's a glute?" And I was like, oh, good. I'm glad somebody thinks it's funny. And I started laughing and I was like, well, and I'm in me and a room full of guys, So it was awkward for a hot second. I go, well, it's your butt. So I want you to, and I kept going, squeeze your glutes, engage your glutes. So the guy goes, squeeze it every time I would go. So then what we did, we came out, like it was awkward. It was for a hot second because then one guy goes, butt, bottom. Somebody else calls out booty. Then somebody else called out ham hocks. And we just came up with every name there possibly could be for a butt when we were doing all these squats. And it was so hilarious. And what was an awkward moment left. And it was one of the best moments in my entire career. And I can't believe how many names we came up with for butts.
That's a show for much further down the line. Where do you cross the boundaries of
I know
getting sexually awkward in a group workout environment?
It was so great because
usually when stuff like that is going on and I'm in a class, I'm like, well, at least someone else is bringing up something.
It was
random
so great.
And weird, and
it was so great. It was so because it was only awkward for a second, and then I said, I can't believe how many names we came up with. Because everybody joined in, and this is a large room. I swear there was probably 25 dudes in there. And so everybody came up with we must come up with 20 names for butt. Okay, so, and the reason why I wanted to talk about it.
Yes, all seriousness. No laughing.
And I did, me, like with posture last week. I know I can get really serious about stuff. But first of all, everybody wants a butt right now. That is the truth. And we'll go over exercises later. But the reason why, like I always like to talk about the whys of things, like why do you need a butt? Powerhouse of stability. Your glutes are key players in maintaining balance and stability. And yeah, stability is where it's at, right? Because everybody's always talking about their core and stuff. And sometimes I get sick of it. It's like, you got to strengthen your core. You got to strengthen your butt too. And whether you're running, lifting, or just twirling around the living room to your favorite tunes, you need to have a strong butt so you can have stability. Injury prevention, strong glutes support your lower back and knees. So yeah, I was just in for my left knee, and yeah, he had me squat, he had me lunge, he had me do a lot of basic exercises for physical therapy to get my hamstrings and glutes back on track. Reducing risk of injury. We already said that. Imagine them as the frontline soldiers guarding your body's fortress. So I'm not really sure what that meant. That's not my words. So I'm thinking your body's fortress being what, like the core, your torso. That they are the largest. I will say this. I know this as for a fact from anatomy 3 times. They're the largest muscle in your body. The second largest is your shoulder blade or your latissimus dorsi. But the first largest in your body is your glutes, your buttocks. And there's 3 parts to it. But I won't bore you with all that. Your butt helps you get better posture. So well-developed glutes can help improve posture by ensuring your pelvis is aligned and helps you sit up taller. And your pelvis being aligned is a big thing in my world because I'm a Pilates trainer. And so we always are working on the posterior chain, working everywhere, but you're really trying to get back to good alignment when you're working in Pilates. That's the main goal for that time that you're training. And therefore building strength everywhere else. But a buddy of mine broke his femur, and the physical therapist, we were all in the room. Like there was a couple of, he was having visitors when the physical therapist came in, and the physical therapist said to him, I want you to squeeze your butt 500 times a day. And everybody started laughing, and I knew that he was dead serious. Because if you squeeze your butt like I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, I'm up to 15.
I mean, it really works. So I knew that guy. Everybody laughed because it sounds so crazy. Squeeze your butt 500 times a day. You'd think that's stupid, right?
It's an easy muscle to work to me.
That's all you got to do, man.
So like even the GHD.
I love that. I tried to get
like the
one
reverse
from CrossFit
ways,
and I was too late.
Doing it like on the reverse way, or even just hanging on to the little bar and kind of flapping your legs up in the air.
Yes. And I'm trying to build a butt. The butts are in right now. Oh my God. And if you're a girl, you better be working your glutes, because that's the thing.
A great starting point for everybody out there. If you're looking to do a little butt exercise today, just get flat on your stomach.
Oh,
get your arms out straight.
Yeah, super.
Get your legs out straight.
Yeah.
And either both arms and both legs at a time, or right arm, left leg at a time.
That's what we do. We do swim. Pilates. Yeah.
Yep. Alternate the.
We did ways. Supermans today. What you're saying, the Supermans, and the physical therapist was doing them with my boy.
They're on my menu today, Karen.
Huh?
They're on my menu for things to do today.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, okay. So I do get into some exercises. So we ended with the better posture. We know it does that. And I'm big on posture. I hope I'm sitting here okay. My shoulders tend to slouch, but I'm sitting pretty tall. And now I want to squeeze my butt. That does help. As soon as you squeeze your butt, notice how everything kind of goes into alignment. Okay. And enhanced performance. Sorry, I did stutter on that. Whether you're sprinting, weightlifting, or even just standing up from a chair, your glutes provide the necessary power and torque. So yes, I'm trying to build a butt, and for not just looks reasons, obviously, for strength. Back squats. All right, so here are some stellar exercises to get those glutes strong and powerful. Squats, of course. So let's talk about squats, baby. All right, you can start with a chair stand. I mean, standing up from your chair is sort of a squat. You can start with a wall sit. We talked about them last week. Yeah. Remember that? So you can start really easy, or you can put weight on. You can do back squats, front squats, whatever you want. Squats, lunges.
Hold something in your, if you don't have a light dumbbell or something like that, get whatever object you have, which you can hold between both of your palms, that weighs 5 to 10 pounds even. Mm-hmm. And use that, kind of control that in your front rack, and then ease on up and down.
Ease on up and down.
Either onto a bench or a ledge or a box if you have that even.
Yeah. Like it doesn't just move. Chair stands are what I put. I have this like little 5 exercises you can do at home for safety, for like my lead magnet, because I want people to click on my website, and they're chair stands because they're safe,
Yeah, well, it's the basic of all movements. Yeah. And if we can't do that, we're in trouble.
Yeah. And I even mentioned that in that, because you can use the handles on a chair if you're just starting out. You can push up, you're trying to use your legs and feet, because sometimes I work with mature adults. I used to all the time.
The sad fact is this: if you don't do them by the time you're 80, you're in trouble.
Oh, I know it, right? I don't work with, well, I shouldn't say don't work with seniors. One of my clients is 90 years old. She does Pilates with me, but I used to work with them as a career. I worked over at Westminster. I love working with that. And now the gap is closing in. I'm becoming, I'm there. I get it even more. But okay, so next is lunges. Another great move to fuel those glutes. Not my favorite, but I do them all the time. Walking lunges, I kind of like better than just lunges, but step forward. Then there's the backward lunge, which works your hamstrings and glutes, and then the forward lunges, quads. And beginners, I usually start with split squat, where they're in that lunge position, and then I just dip them down so they just learn how to have that right angle in the knees, and learning that you're going straight down. Like when people think of lunge, they think of lunging forward, and that's when that knee floats over the toe, and it's not good. Lunging is more straight down than people realize. It's just the name that kind of throws people off. Glute bridges, we do those all the time in Pilates, and that's lying on your back with your knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And here's a trick that I always tell in my classes: make sure you push your feet into the ground. It's not just about bringing your hips up. It can be, you can just do that. But if you add that extra torque on the bottoms of your feet, you're going to feel your hamstrings fire so much, and your posterior chain. It'll be that whole tire thing. And that's just a fancy word for all the muscles in your back, all the way down to your heels. Squeeze your bum at the top. And one of my favorite things, let's go back to squats. Give your butt a little squeeze when you're in between your squats, so you finish your rep. I remember a CrossFit coach caught me doing that. You know how you don't stand all the way up?
Yeah. So yeah, when you stand tall,
yeah,
you engage
a little bit.
every muscle in your kind of body a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how many people don't do that, Karen? I think that's literally 95% of people working out.
Well, I know
don't
I got
realize
for
to keep every muscle you possibly can engaged until the very end of the rep.
Yeah.
And don't let off.
Well, I would assume it's a no rep if you're in a competition, obviously, if you don't finish that rep. But I did remember that. That's where I learned that. I've been doing CrossFit for like 14 years now.
You know what a good example is of this? How about this? So I was taught with Coach Kristen, who's a fantastic coach. And she's part of the CrossFit elite, actually hired by CrossFit.
Where is she? Like takeover? Or?
Yeah. But when you step on a box, using the box, for example, and doing step ups to engage the butt, to engage all your muscles, but really your butt is the key one.
Yeah,
because that gets everything going. So when you step up on the box, you wait until you clear the top level of the box before you move that other leg forward for one. Oh. And then when you get to the top of the box at the end of the rep, you stand tall and you clench your body.
Yeah.
And you get down.
Think of the crown of the head reaching for the
next
sky.
time any of you are out there, and you too, Karen, next time you're in the gym and you see people doing step-ups, watch them step up, because you'll be able to tell if they're clenching or not at the end. Right, and I guarantee they're not.
Well, yeah, my coach is
because every time I watch it, I'm like, not
finish.
Well, some people just see it as the cardio going up and down,
right? Which,
yes, it still is, but you get so much more,
right,
if you just engaged a little bit more at the end.
I agree with you. Glute bridges. Okay, we talked about that. Deadlifts, the powerhouse exercise for overall strength.
That's another one where people don't fully engage at the top.
Yeah, but especially your posterior chain. This is what I see. Not only do they engage, sometimes over-engage at the top. They over-engage at the top.
Yeah. There's a perfect.
Yeah. It's reaching
There's a perfect
world.
And it's funny, some of the people you actually see over-engage. You're like,
I think I did it. That's how I know.
Yeah. Well, you hurt your back that way too.
I've hurt my back so many times in deadlifts. Like that was like 10 years ago. Now I'm really good at them, but I really sucked at them for a long time. And people don't realize deadlift is one of the hardest to train and the hardest to learn.
Yeah.
Because it's such a like normal move. You'd think, what? But it really is a hard one to teach people.
The key things are stay engaged.
Yeah.
And let that barbell travel straight up your body.
Yeah.
That barbell has to travel straight up the body for the most part.
And I always tell people that. I'm
Bend
like,
the knees at the right time, right when the barbell
yeah,
passes.
like don't get frustrated because
Or straighten the
it's
knees right when the barbell
everybody,
passes.
it's a hard one to learn and it's a hard one to teach. But once you get it, it all makes sense. And it is about engaging the glutes and reaching the crown of the head for the sky rather than pushing forward through your hip flexors, pushing forward, your head comes back.
Yeah,
I mean,
the over-engaging. Think of it if you're arching your back.
Yeah, exactly.
To where you look like a half moon, kind of doing your deadlift.
Exactly.
Or
I think I used to do it.
If you look like a crescent moon,
yeah,
doing a deadlift, you're doing it right.
I think I did that when I was younger because I used to have, like, I worked with physical therapists as a Pilates trainer, and I'd often have to see them, and deadlifting was my nemesis because sometimes my pelvis would come out of alignment. It would hurt so bad, and the therapist would be able to pop it back in. But it was often because of deadlift. And it's not the deadlift's fault. It was me, the user, like how I was picking up the bar was wrong because the exercise done correctly probably isn't going to hurt you. But one little tiny thing off, it can. I hate saying that I hate an exercise. What's coming up next? I hate saying I hate an exercise. I try to be positive about it and be like, I love doing these. The Bulgarian, the Bulgarian split squat. Oh,
it's one I don't quite frankly understand still because I can't do them very well at all. It's for balance. It's for balance and posture for the most part. But I get it.
It's so hard.
It gets your. For me, it's always been balance and posture. That one, not necessarily the weight on what you're working with your hamstrings and your butt there.
I wish I could think of the guy. There's a trainer on Instagram that's so funny. I wish I could think of him.
Range of motion is fantastic.
But he does a meme on the Bulgarian or a reel or whatever, but it's funny. And he does it on Bulgarian split squat. And he goes, I've got a great alternative. Or I don't know, maybe he said I got a great something for the Bulgarian split squat. And I'm like, okay, really? And I think there's a bunch of us going, what is it? And he goes, it's shut the fuck up and get it done. And I was like, oh, because I'm like, oh, darn, come up with something because it works your hip flexors, it works your glutes, it works your hamstrings, it works your quadriceps, it probably works your calves. I mean, it's one of the best, and it's balance. You have to bring your feet wide enough apart. I think that's a big deal with the balance piece because I hate saying this about myself. I'd like to improve my balance. Balance is really my weakness. So Bulgarian split squat, obviously, I'm not going to like it. You don't like anything that you're not good at. It's hard to get comfortable with your foot up on a step, isn't it? Like, do you curl the toe or do you let the toe flat? So, yeah, but they're a great exercise. It's just, they're hard. Elevate one foot behind you on a bench or a chair and lower into a squat with the other leg. This move is great for balance and isolation. And I apologize, audience, for not reading that first in case you didn't know what it was. I went on about how much I don't like it, but it's a hard one. But you hear why this move is great for balance and isolation. So
for your the people out there attempting Bulgarian split squats for the first time or the first couple of times, start low with your back foot.
Oh, God, yeah.
Go up high. Use the bench once you get more advanced into your balance and coordination and you're able to do things.
I don't even do it with a bench.
Start with a couple of plates.
I should probably be doing a bench. I could be sandbagging, whatever. But I don't know. I like working out and I'm kind of enjoying going easier on myself. I haven't used a bench in a long time, but you're right. That's what you're really supposed to use. But that's for athletes and really, fit people. You don't have to do that. Like Steve said, stack up a couple weights or use a smaller bench. Use a little step, ladies. Like you think of those steps that we used, use something that's 4 or 5 inches. That's hard enough, trust me. Next one is hip thrusts. And hip thrusts are similar to glute bridges where you're lying on your back and knees are bent, soles of the feet on the mat. But your upper back elevated on a bench. So what you do with hip thrusts is you are on that bench or on something lower, like we just talked about with the Bulgarian split squats. You could use like a stepper. I think you know. Do you know what I mean when I say stepper, Steve? You know where the do you remember aerobics step class back in the day?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like
yep,
those little things there,
Yes.
but they start
Yes.
out 4 and then you can make them higher.
Yes, you can stack them on top.
Yeah,
of
you
each
can
other.
stack them. So start with something like that so you can stack to your appropriate ability. And then clamshells. Everybody gets clamshells. If you get, I just said to a client today, I said, even if you hurt your shoulder in physical therapy, they're going to make you do clamshells. They love clamshells, but I was only kidding, obviously. But clamshells are lying on your side. Let's see what this says. Lying on your side, knees bent. Keep your feet together. Here's me. I want you to flex your feet, which means bring your toes towards your shin. That's always going to make your body stack a lot easier than just letting your feet flim flam. You really want to pull your toes back. That's a big one I make my clients do. Keep your pelvis stable. You're laying on your side. And this targets the hard to reach hip abductor muscles, which is kind of those muffin tops. Got one, got two. I've got two. Muffin top is kind of my nemesis. Like I can look really good from the front and God, it ruins my whole posterior is that muffin top. So if that's like that, yeah, well, you guys probably know what I mean when I say muffin top. It looks exactly like that. So that targets that area. You're just opening the knees, keeping the feet together, open, close, just like a clam. And they're great for your hips. They're great for so many injuries. I had to do it for knee injury. I mean, you just get them all the time if you're in physical therapy. But I keep saying, but that's all I got today. I wanted to talk about how important it is to have strong glutes. And here's why. I was, like I said earlier, I was working at that physical therapy, innovative therapy. It's here on Great Neck Road, Great Neck and Virginia Beach Boulevard. Great therapists in there. I'm proud to say that I worked there. I worked there for like 5 years. Anyway, I was, working out. I was younger. I was in my early 50s, late 40s, and I was working out heavier weight, just doing everything a lot harder. And I don't know why, but I was in seeing one of my coworkers, seeing a physical therapist. Something was hurting. It was probably my glutes, or maybe one time when my pelvis came out. And I had a lot of stability weaknesses. I'm embarrassed to say. It was like, and I say I'm embarrassed because I should know better, but I wasn't doing as much mobility back then. And I was doing a lot of lifting. I was teaching Pilates, but I wasn't doing it. Anyway, the therapist said to me, she's like, God, your glutes aren't firing at all. You have no glute strength. And I was like, what? How am I doing all the workouts? Because I was going to the gym every morning and killing it. And I was like, how? She goes, with your quads and your core, your abs and your anterior. And anterior is just fancy word for all the muscles in your front. I was like, oh my God. And if you think about it, like box jumping, pulling your knees up, even squats, even though it's glutes, you guess you can get away with. Anyway, I was like, oh my God. So I immediately, started training my glutes because I knew that, oh my God, if I strengthen my glutes, if I'm already kind of a badass, not even having glutes, oh my gosh, I'm going to be amazing in my own mind. Like I realize in the CrossFit gym, I'm not amazing, but I'm pretty proud of the stuff I can pull off, for myself. But I thought, oh my goodness, I would be able to run faster. I'd be able to do everything. My times would be so much better if my glutes were firing. So I got to work right away. And sure enough, that happened. My running times went down. And granted, the furthest I run is like a mile, and get timed on that. And that went down and my weights were going up. And why? Because my glutes are firing. I wasn't trying to do everything, with my quads, the front of my legs and my abs. So that's why I wanted to talk about this. And at that time, I was working at Westminster Canterbury, which is a mature adults community. And I joked with them because I think as we age, I don't even think you have to do it on purpose. Your glutes just turn off. You have to activate your glutes. And I think as we age, that happens more and more. Where if you don't use it, you lose it, right? So when I had found that out about myself, and then I heard my buddy's physical therapist go, you better do 500 butt squeezes a day. I was like, this is real stuff. So I would always, go squeeze your butt at Westminster Canterbury. Everybody would laugh, because they realized that they were weak there. So that's really why I wanted to do this, because I think of things that through my career, like the postural stuff, that's one of my favorite subjects. We did that last week. And then that time that I had no glute strength. And that's why I wanted to, how important it is, because that's probably why I was getting hurt all the time, if I wasn't using my glutes. So
there's a couple things you can do here. Not you, I'm talking about the audience as well. Well, you as well. I don't have access to this myself. But if you're going to a gym with the leg press machine,
I know, I love a leg press.
And you don't have that old school leg press machine, or if you have that old school leg press machine available to you, you usually have a big platform where to put your feet.
Mm-hmm.
Put your feet towards the top.
Yeah.
And that will get you going pretty good. Know that you can add more weight sooner than later.
I miss
and that kind of thing as well. Your butt's a muscle that's able to handle a lot more weight than you would think it would be able to.
Especially on a leg press. That's what's so great about a leg press is you can really stack on the weight, especially the lying down one. I love that one. Chicks Beach Gym has, they're all over town, but that's where I trained for my bodybuilding contest. And you get to lie
now. Squats do the same thing. At the end of the day, with your barbell and good form, it's doing the same exact thing.
Yes, they do.
But if you have that thing available, you can give your
leg press
that extra little concentration.
Yummy and delicious. So is leg extension, hamstring curl. I've got a cheap one in my garage, and it doesn't really work that good, but leg extension, hamstring curl for sure. If you have those accessible, those are great. Those are great. But most gyms, that's the first piece of equipment they have. CrossFit gyms, not so much. We do back squat, front squat, squat, power cleans, this and that.
Another one people can do when they don't have the gym available are the planks. That kind of gets your butt involved too.
Yeah. And Superman's.
Yep. Superman's, planks. Dead bugs is the other good one. If you don't know what a dead bug is, just YouTube it. But that's basically where you're laying flat on your back, and then you stick your arms and legs almost straight up in the air, and you try to hold it, or you move them back and forth.
I like that.
Different variations you can do. Kind of make it feel like your stomach's getting sucked through the floor, like you have a vacuum at your back sucking your front through you.
I do think
like
dead bug is more right? core activator. Jamie showed me, Jamie Rhodes is such a great runner.
She'd be a good guest to have on the show.
She really would. She showed me this great exercise to how to activate your glutes, because Jamie needs to have activated glutes, right? And she learned it from a yoga instructor, and she showed it to me, and it's so cool. I do it in a lot of my classes. And then I had a yoga instructor coming to me for Pilates. So I showed it to her, and I was like, my girlfriend who's a runner learned this from a yoga instructor. Let me show you this one. It's just fun to pass any new exercise on, and it's not new. It's actually Pilates Mermaid, which, like Steve said, you can YouTube some of this stuff. Pilates Mermaid, and then you're lifting your knee, and then you're lifting your foot, and then you're lifting your entire leg. And Steve, I'll show you before I leave, but it activates your glutes. It's so fun because sometimes you realize like you can't lift your knee up in a certain position because there's so many muscles around the hip. There's so many small muscles, so many stabilizers, just like the shoulder. So if those go dormant, it's quite possible your glutes aren't firing, which is why a long distance runner like our friend Jamie is going to need, before a race. So this yoga instructor probably came and did some exercises. No, probably before a race. Yeah, Jamie's working at God, I can't think of the place. Oh my God. It's right at the foot of the Lesnar Bridge.
The racing place.
Yeah, the running racing
The
place.
JNR. I guess we give them a plug here on the show.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, so that's probably what happened. They probably had a yoga instructor come out and do something before they all went running. I'll have to try and pitch.
Well, Coach Lou had us. I remember this worked, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but we had to like double wrap the bands around the upper part of our legs. The resistance bands, and we did like the sidewalks across the gym.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe we even just walked backwards or something.
Up above the knee or at the ankle?
No, they were above the knee.
Yeah. That's kind of like a clamshell.
Oh,
it's kind of like, it's kind of, yes. It's squatting, pulling. Yes. Right. I had a physical therapist friend of mine tell me, if you do that with clients, just walk side to side, back and forth for a full hour. It'll be the best thing you could ever do for them. But you can't, because that's glute med. I'm glad you brought that up because there's glute max, there's glute med, and there's glute minimus. So there's 3 parts to the glute. And the glute, max obviously is the big round part that we're trying to get to, bootylicious or whatever. And then med is more like getting near that muffin toppy. And then minimus is even smaller. It's underneath the big muscles. So there's 3 parts to it. And glute med is, if you're in the physical therapy world, they always say that's the first one that goes weak, goes dormant. So that's why clamshells, all that kind of exercises are so popular, because glute med goes weak, which is probably, I just didn't know glute max went weak too, and mine was. And even though I was really probably was lifting way more than I am now, it just, that always fascinates me how the body will do things wrong if it's strong enough. Like I just still to this day can't believe I was lifting all that weight not with glutes. And now that I have glutes and I'm 10 years older, I'm getting, obviously close to that weight. It's just that I am 10 years older and I'm not really trying as hard, to be honest. I mean, I go heavy, but if you went into my stats, you can tell I'm probably squatting 110, maybe 120, but I'd try and get really high. I really would when I was younger, but I'm starting to repeat myself possibly. So that happens. So I will tune out on that.
Round of applause from the fans today.
That's so wonderful. I love that. I needed that today. I like the tracks. And then the but God, there's always a saying, but God. And then you have that heavenly track where it goes, oh, hallelujah. Yeah. Let me end with that, because that.
When you get the big butt that you want.
I know. And he's the big man in charge. Thanks, Steve. The big man in charge.
All right. So next Wednesday, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Have a good one.
What's next week's show about?
I don't know. I knew I was like, did you hear me start to go, have a good one?
Yeah.
Because I knew it was coming. So what are you going to do next week, Sizzle? And it's fun. I'm glad that you do that because you got me thinking. And actually, last week I had a feeling I was doing it on.
Maybe
glutes.
think about a guest for the end of the week, and then let me know if you need help.
Okay.
Reaching out, we'll see if we can get someone on.
Okay. I could do that, or we can do that. Yeah.
We could do that.
All right. I will try to do that. Surprise, surprise.
Spread the love of the
folks.
Sizzle.
Yeah. And I have a lot of love. I have a lot of cool friends. I just seem to be it's the only I'm just not talking to a lot of people right now, not because I don't want to. It sounds really
You're preaching to the choir. Yes,
I'm just kind of introverted right now because my family, me and my boy are my family, and he needs me right now. So I'm kind of staying close to home. So that's the only reason. Oh my God.
Well, this is your outlet to the world. You're talking to the world right now.
It is kind of nice.
Here you go.
I do feel like that too. I do, like this morning I taught a class out of the house, and then I have clients that come to me and we work out on the Pilates reformer. And so it's not like I'm stuck in the house all the time, but that's the only reason I haven't been able to reach out to, I haven't been hanging out. I haven't been going to social events. I haven't really been doing anything. So except going to the gym, and going to work and then doing my stuff. But I still think of people. I mean, I have the weekend. I can reach out to somebody over the weekend. So I love that you put me on the spot. It keeps me on the toes. But did you notice I was like, all right, have a nice day. I was like, I was trying to get out. But good. I will. I'll get with you Sunday and let you know if I talk to anyone.
Okay. Have a nice day.
All right. Thanks, man. Bye.